Happy Monday, knitters. I'm Louise from Wildflowerwool, and welcome back to my channel. It is Monday, it's a brand new week, and I have 2 new projects that I'm casting on for this week to knit on. What does everybody else have planned for this week? I'd love to know what you're working on. You can leave me a comment down below. I'd love to know if you're casting on something new, if you're close to finishing, if you're working on Christmas knitting. I'd love to know. I love chatting in the comments, so leave me a message down below. I'll show you what I'm working on this week. Actually, I'm going to show you what I finished first. My dishcloth. My Halloween dishcloth. Here it is. Look at that. Isn't that fun? This is a 2-color rice stitch pattern. I did the rice stitch back a few months ago, but I think I just did it in 1 color. And it was fun knit in 1 color, but I love how it knits up in the 2-color. It almost looks like a chevron. And I'm looking at this and thinking, does it almost look like there's little ghosts or bats? One commenter had mentioned on last week's finished dishcloth. This is the 2-color knit tweed pattern. And she said it looked like little bats. And I think there again, I think it almost looks like little ghosts. Once she had mentioned it and I looked at it, like, it does. It kind of, you know, if you use your imagination a little bit. I like this pattern. I think this, I don't know which one I like better. All right. I'm going to hold them both up again. And let's see. Is there, if you were to knit one, which would you knit? This is the knit, the knit tweed stitch. And this one is the rice stitch. I don't know, they're both pretty fun. And they both use knit one belows. This is all garter stitch. And this one here is knits and purls. I like it. This one here, remember I said how this one got so super big last week? I cut down the number of stitches and I added 2 knit stitches to the edge. And I made sure that I cast on and cast off in the same color. This one here, I cast on in orange and I cast off in black. And it makes it kind of fun. It's not that I don't like that, but I just made sure that I ended on the right row so I could cast off in the same color. Fun dishcloths. I really like the orange and the black. And my cone of black is still going forever and ever. You would hardly even know that I've taken anything off it. I finished a hat. Okay, this is the one I finished this week. Remember all this really pretty orange Patton's color wool that I was just going to knit up into some hats? This is hat number 2. So backtrack a little bit. I know if you guys watch these every week, you'll know this story already. This was the first hat that I did that was knit so super tight. So this one here, I revamped my needle size, readjusted my needle size. So this is not as tight. I cast on less stitches. I went up bigger needles, cast on a few less stitches just to compensate, because I knew if I kept the same number of stitches and went up a needle size, the hat would definitely be bigger. And I liked the fit of this. I think this is still a little bit bigger. I haven't compared, or haven't really. This is a little, well, not too much. Maybe not too bad. I don't know. Trying to measure. Okay, a little bit. A little bit. Can you see there? There's the edge. So we're, you know, what is that? So that's going to be about 1, 2, 3 or 4 stitches. So I guess that's about an inch. Do I have 4 stitches to the inch? I'd have to go back and check. But anyway, it's about but you know what? It's still felt okay on. It felt maybe a smidgen loose for me. This one here felt nice, but heads come in all different sizes. So this could be somebody who has a bigger head, somebody who has more, you know, curly hair, whatever, or somebody who just likes a hat that fits a little looser. So I would not have any problem gifting this to somebody because it'll fit somebody. I'm counting this still as a success. So when I cast on my third hat, I think I will use these same needle sizes. This was a number 6 weight yarn, so like a super bulky. I used a 5.5 for the ribbing. I increased, and then I knit the body of the hat with a 6.5 millimeter. I like it. Has a nice feel to it. It still feels dense enough that I don't think the wind is going to blow through. You know, even when I stretch it out, there's not a whole lot of room between those stitches, but it feels a little more drapey. It's not as stiff as this one is. So I will use the same needle size. I'm going to go down maybe even 4. So I counted roughly 4 stitches I could take off this hat. And I will knit again. But those are 2 hats that can go in the Christmas box, or they can be for donation. 2 balls of yarn. Well, a ball and a bit. Not sure. Oh, I see I could have shown you. Anyways, doesn't matter. I have less than half a ball left. Each hat took less than 100-gram ball, which is nice. Next up, finished my scarf. So when I showed this to you last week, I still had the needle in it, and I wasn't sure the length. And the length actually shocked me because I was aiming for 88 stitches was kind of the number that I had in my head that I thought would make a nice length scarf. I knit this one, and what I measured it, wasn't it like 97 inches or something? It was way longer than I had anticipated in going. But you know what? I really like the length. And there again, I think that is, I always say when you're knitting a gauge swatch, you knit your swatch with one needle size and you look at the fabric and you're like, oh, I really like the feel of that. I like the drape. I like it. But I always like experimenting and trying another needle size, because if you only knit with one size, you don't have anything to compare it to, and you think you might like it. But if you go up or down a needle size and try it, then you might be like, oh, I really like that second gauge, that second tension, that fiber or the fabric that it's making. I like that better. And you wouldn't have known if you hadn't tried it. So this was like a happy mistake, because otherwise I would have knit to 88 stitches, cast it off, called it done, and been happy with it. Because I went longer with this one and had the opportunity to try it on and wear it, I'm thinking, you know what? I may just knit my scarves longer on purpose. So I'm just going to, so all I did with this one, trying to find my ends here. So there. When I showed it to you last week, I think I ended with the pink. This gray section was a few rows longer. I had a wider stripe of this light gray. So when I realized that the scarf was long enough, I actually took the needle out and I pulled out a few rows just so I just kind of eyeballed it so that these gray ends would somewhat match. And then I cast off. So I was going to, you know what? I think this would, and it's the right length. You could just do this with it too. Look at that. And you've got your tails here. That's a nice, oh, this feels so nice. I'm glad I have more balls of this. I really do like this. And for some people who can't wear wool, I think that'll be a nice alternative for a gift. I was kind of curious to see. The only thing I wonder about this is if it will grow. in length as you wear it. Not sure, because it's so drapey. I don't know how sturdy, is that the word I want, sturdy? How it will be, or if it will grow a lot. But I guess if I measure it, I have an idea. Well, I guess I'll only know if I keep it and wear it myself, won't I? Okay, there's 60 inches. I want to see how close I am to like 90 or 92, or just for reference. And I'm going to make note of this. Okay, where am I? 60, so I'm at 94. Oh my God, how did this, maybe this grew already. I'm at 101 inches. Well, the last time we checked it, I was at 97 and I pulled out some rows. Interesting. Kind of think maybe it stretched. And I didn't wear it. I will insert a picture here. I tried it on and I wore it for, I don't know, not like half an hour maybe. It was a cool, kind of a coolish day until the sun came out and it got hot. So I did take it off again. But I wonder if just kind of the weight, it doesn't feel super heavy, but maybe just the weight, it is growing a little bit. There again, I don't think that's a big deal, because then you can just wrap it around or tie up, you know, make a loop with the ends if they get long. I don't know. It would be interesting to see. It would be interesting for me to knit one and keep one for myself and wear it a little bit and measure and wear and measure and just see what the verdict is. But oh my goodness, have I mentioned it feels so nice? Just want to like curl up with it and make it, oh, an Afghan snuggle under would be fantastic. So that was 3 finishes for me this past week. 2-color rice stitch dishcloth, my super simple hat, and the mistake rib. Oh, thank goodness you guys came to my rescue. A few of you left me. Remember last week I was like, couldn't grasp that word. I was like, it's not, sometimes the stitch pattern is also called uneven rib. And I'm like, it's not broken, because the broken rib is the one that has the solid knit row all the way through it. I'm like, what is that? And I could not think of it for the life of me. And you guys, of course, all chimed in and like, mistake rib. And you are absolutely right. That's exactly what I was thinking. Mistake rib. Love it. I love this. You know, I could knit every scarf in mistake rib. It just has a really nice texture, has a nice stretch to it. It's reversible. The edges don't curl. You don't need to have a pattern. You can look at your stitches. You can just read your work. I don't see anything, any downfall to it. Now, some people may say it has purl stitches, but purling, I have no problem purling. I love purling. I have no problem doing that at all. Okay, that leads me to this week's new starts. We're a week away from Halloween. This is Monday night, and Halloween is on Saturday, I do believe. So my Halloween knitting is still carrying on. Look at this cone. See, it hardly, I don't know. Can you tell any difference from when I showed it to you the first time? I can't really see too much of a difference. And I still have a little bit of this hot orange left over, Bernat Handicrafter. So I figured, why not carry on? Because after this weekend, I'm not going to want to knit orange and black. So I might as well. Well, I'm not going to get those black knit up. It'll hang around, and I'll be pulling it out again for next Halloween. But I thought I might as well finish up the orange. So what I did, I just want my second new start is a large start. So I want this one to be just fairly simple and quick. Super simple diamond dishcloth pattern. And I'm going to stripe it because I'm running a little short on the orange. I'm pretty sure I have another ball of the hot orange. But I thought, maybe I'll just do a little corner black. So I increased up to 15 stitches, and then now I'm just going to stripe, see how far my orange goes, and then do another black corner up here. So that's that. Just more orange and black. Halloween. And if you didn't see last week's podcast, you still have time. Wildflowerwool's Ravelry group, we're doing a dishcloth challenge, or not a challenge, just a dishcloth knit along. It was a really quick one, started last week, and it goes right through until Saturday night, Halloween night. And the challenge is just using fall or Halloween colored dishcloth cotton and make a dishcloth. It can be any pattern, it can be one color, it can be two color, it can be anything you want. It's just all about having fun with color. So you can pick any kind of colors like you see, you know, anything that looks fallish. Golds, reds, greens, orange and blacks, Halloween. I guess you could do purple, black, purple, orange, anything. Yeah, really it is just about the fun and, you know, anything that we can do having fun right now, I think is a good thing. So if you want to get in the Halloween spirit a little bit, see what you have in your stash, or make a quick trip to your local yarn shop or your craft store, pick up some dishcloth cotton and knit along with us. Post a picture. You can knit as many as you want. You can, you know, very easily get one done in a couple of evenings of knitting. One, if you're super quick, go over, post a picture. Every picture that you enter is eligible for the prize, and the prize, I happen to have it here. I'm going to pick one person, and one person is going to get 2 balls of dishcloth cotton. Now, honestly, I'm not sure. Oh, I should have brought it. I didn't bring it up here. I have another shade of green that I may swap out. So we'll see. You're going to get a red and a green just to kick off your Christmas knitting. Because once Halloween's over, you know, and then we have Remembrance Day in there. So whenever you kind of get in full Christmas decorating mode, I'll send you out some dishcloth cotton so you can start your holiday dishcloth knitting. Make yourself something really pretty for your kitchen or to gift. Make great teachers' gifts. This leads me to my second cast on, and I am really excited about this. I have to say that this morning when I woke up and I came into the yarn room and I was like, okay, what yarn am I going to pull off the shelf? What do I want to knit? What, you know, was calling to me? What project, what yarn? And nothing really jumped out. And I think I was overthinking. I'm like, okay, do I want it to be a hat? Do I want it to be another cowl? Which my cowl from last week did not, it only got a couple of rows on it. Really nothing. So I don't even have it here to show you. So hopefully we'll get, well, no, I don't know if it'll get any knitting done on it this week at all. We'll see if it does or not. But I spent a lot of time sorting some yarn. So there'll be a new yarn sorting video come up. But anyway, so I was really kind of stuck. I was like, I don't know what I want to start. And I think this has really only happened to me once before. Usually there's something that I see that I'm like, I really want to use that yarn. Today, there wasn't a whole lot. And then I pulled out this book that I've taken out from the library. I flipped through it and I came across, I opened right to it. I didn't even really flip. I opened it. And I saw this cardigan. It's a top-down cardigan. I'm like, I like this. This sparked joy. So I'm going to show you. It's called, there. So it's pretty simple. It has just a textured front band on it. But other than that, oh, and it has a pleat in the back, which is kind of cute. So for me, I wanted this week to be kind of simple, easy knitting. And so for me, for sweater knitting, that means I'm just going to follow a pattern. I'm not going to worry about doing gauge to garment. I'm not going to worry about measuring and gauge and doing the math. I just want to sit and knit this week. And one thing that really intrigued me about this book is that when I was reading the introduction to the book, she said that she has a different technique for doing the increases and something around the armholes. So I'm really, really interested to try this and see if it is different than how I do my top down. Because sometimes top down sweaters, by the time you get the increasing done, you can have a really deep armhole. And she says that she's come up with a different way of increasing that alleviates that depth problem. So I'm really excited to see if I can learn something new, and then I can share it with you guys, give you my take on it. So that's yeah, I'm very excited to start this sweater. So I pulled out some yarn, and if you watched the last stashing video, you'll see all of this mercury here. I have more, and I found more downstairs. So I knew I had a lot of it. Well, yes, I do know why I ended up with so much of it, but that's okay. That's another story. I have lots of it. So, and you'll probably have noticed in most of half my videos, I always have a black cardigan on. I think I have 4 of them. And I just grab one and just throw it on with whatever I'm wearing. So I thought, you know what? It's high time that I actually knit myself a black cardigan. So it's not as black, but it kind of looks grayish compared to the black, doesn't it? But it is called Mercury. So I don't know. Does Mercury sound more black or more gray? I guess it's gray black. Anyways, it does not matter. I have lots of yarn. I don't have to worry about running out of yarn. I'm only going to need, I think, about 5 balls anyways, because the sweater isn't super long. It's not really cropped, but it's just looks like it comes to just about the top of your jeans. So I don't know. That's something look at that. I can't help myself. Even though I just said I was going to knit from the pattern, so I didn't have to think, but I can't help myself from doing that. And I truly believe, especially, I know the length of sweater that I really like. So I'm going to compare the length that I like to what the pattern is. And I'll just make it a little bit longer if I need to, because I'm not going to run out of yarn. I could make it a tunic. I could make an ankle length coat if I wanted to, and I will not run out of yarn. Anyways, started with a gauge swatch. I have not measured my gauge. All I've gotten so far is a nice size gauge swatch. I was thinking if there's any interest in a gauge video, do you want to leave me a comment? Just say yes to gauge, or yes for a gauge video or something, or thumbs up to gauge, whatever you want to just quickly. Because I was thinking there's a lot of things that go into trying to get a gauge swatch that's going to actually be accurate. So if you're interested in my take on gauge and measuring and knitting, I can put together another video on that for you. So there it is, 6-inch gauge swatch. I'm going to measure. I like the feel of the fabric. It's not tight. It's not super, super loose, because look at that. You can still see when I stretch it. Watch this, how it springs back. And that's what you want for a gauge, or for a sweater. You want it to be able to bounce back. So I like this. So as long as my gauge is close, or right on, not close. There is no close with gauge. It's either on or it's not. So as long as I'm on, I'll carry on. If not, I'll change my needle size and I'll keep swatching. And I'm going to wash this. I will just block it. I will put it in probably the bathroom sink or a little bowl of water, let it soak for a little bit, and let's see if this will. I pulled out this. I think this just came from the dollar store. It's like a foam board. And I like it because it has the lines on it. So once I get this wet, squeeze out the excess water, roll it in a towel, and then just kind of follow those lines and see. If it'll lay out on its own, I'll just lay it to dry. I might pin it because I did not do any garter stitch around the edges. So I may just pin the edges out a little bit and just let it dry. It won't take too long to dry. And then I'll measure it. So I'm going to measure it now before I wash it or block it. And then I'm going to measure it again after. I will post pictures of this on Instagram. So if you don't want to wait until Monday to see how my gauge swatch turns out, wait for a day or two so I can wash it. It won't get washed today, so it'll get washed tomorrow, and then it'll dry, and I'll measure. So the next couple of days, you can check Instagram if you're curious about how the gauge swatch turns out. And that is that. And that's it, really. Okay, I'm also going to say my goal for this sweater is to have it done in 2 weeks. So next Monday when we chat again, I'm hoping in this week coming up to have the body done or really, really close. The following week, just have sleeves. This one, the ball band, the front edging is not knit as you go. So if I do the body 1 week, it's knit in the, well, no, it's not in the round. It's knit in one piece, but it's a cardigan, so it's knit flat. So top down, knit back and forth. So I should also mention that it is knit flat. So that's why my gauge swatch is flat. Just didn't want anybody to think that it was an in the round sweater. I think it's getting late. The sweater is not, I didn't want anybody to think that the sweater was knit in the round and I had swatched flat, because that's a big no-no. Yeah, so the sweater is top down, knit flat, all the way down. So if I can get the body pretty much done this week, then next week I'll have 2 sleeves and have to pick up stitches and knit the band. I guess that kind of, I don't know how else to divide it up. Sweater, sleeves, that's the word I was looking for. We all know sleeves take up, there are still a lot of knitting in sleeves. Now this one here is 3/4. Oh, I think I got sidetracked again. I was going to say that this one here is knit a little shorter. So it's a little cropped, which I said I may make it longer if it's going to be too short, because I don't want it too short. Because if it's too short, I'm not going to like it, and then I'm not going to want to wear it. So it's better, even if I don't make my 2-week goal, I would rather have an extra couple extra days late on my goal to have a sweater that I'm actually going to love putting on. And something that you're not always like tugging to, make it the length that you want it to be. And the sleeves are 3/4 length as well. Haven't decided on that one because I'm always like, I don't know. Typically, I like having long sleeves because there again, if I'm wearing a sweater, it's mostly because I want it to be warm. But I don't know. I mean, sometimes I do pull them up. I don't think I have a sweater with 3/4 length sleeves. Okay, maybe I should just try this. Take my own advice. Kind of like the scarf knitting. Yeah, I don't really think I've ever had, well, I don't know. Maybe I have in my entire lifetime. I don't know, but I don't really remember. But maybe I should actually knit a sweater with 3/4 length sleeves. Maybe I'll like it. I guess I will never know until I try. We'll see. I think I'll reserve my final decision on that till next week. We'll see how it's coming. I don't know, see what I feel like in the mood, or maybe see how close I am to getting to my deadline date. And if I am cutting it close, I may just decide that 3/4 length sleeve sounds like a pretty good idea. I'm not totally adverse. I mean, I'm actually a little intrigued about wearing a sweater with a 3/4 length sleeve to see if it's that thing, will I be cold? Will I wish it was longer? or will I be totally fine with it? Daisy has come to say hi, but she hasn't jumped up. She's just got her front legs up on my knee here for me to pet her. So that's that. Okay, any advice on the sleeve length, ladies? Shall I make them full length? Because they would be totally doable. I would just probably jiggle. Oh, see, look at that. I'm going back again, altering the pattern. I don't know. That's what I do. And I think that's why I just pretty much always do my own gauge to garment, because I end up doing it anyways. Even when I say that I'm not, I always default back to that because that is my preferred way of knitting sweaters. Anyways, what do you guys think? 3/4 length sleeve? Yes? No? Do you like it? Do you think I should go full length? Let me know. I always love hearing your opinions. That's that, everybody. I hope everybody has a fantastic week. I hope you got lots of knitting done this past week. I hope you can slate some time for yourself this coming week. Work on some projects, especially Christmas things, so we don't get too stressed, because we were down to, well, 2 months. I think yesterday was 2 months till Christmas Day. So it is kind of full. It should be, you know, well, for me, it should be really Christmas knitting. And it's not, because I'm knitting a sweater for myself. Okay, in 2 weeks' time, I'll start Christmas knitting. You guys all know where this is going to go, don't you? It's going to be December 1st, and I'm all of a sudden going to decide that I need to cast on a blanket. I do it every year. There's no hope for me. It just is what it is. Anyways, Daisy's come to say hi. And there you go. Daisy and I will both say goodbye. Happy knitting, everybody. And I'll see you in the next video.